Attention, dear listeners. It's Libra here. This is your official spoiler warning for Andor Season 2. We're stepping deep into the shadows of the rebellion, where sacrifices are made, secrets are traded, and freedom comes at a cost. If you haven't finished the season, now's the time to fall back. Because from here on out, we're talking full spoilers. As Cassie and Andor once said, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. If you're not ready for what's coming, turn back now.
Welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. I am Spencer, and I'm one of your hosts on this podcast that we do. And today, I'm joined by the other two members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen to give you another review.
Yes, sir. This is Brandon.
And of course, I am Jordan.
Now, before we start reviewing anything, we must first tell you about the places where you can find us and reach us and contact us and tell us how you feel about all of the things that are happening wherever. And Jordan is going to tell you about all of those places where you can find us, contact us, and reach us.
Yeah, I mean, in a galaxy far, far away, we're not that far away. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. That was a bar, huh? I know. I know. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We are on Twitter. And we are all at the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast or LMG podcast, either one. But that's where you can talk to us, communicate with us, let us know what you think about today's episodes and many other episodes. So yeah, and then don't forget to rate and review us on any of the streaming services that you use. I looked at the numbers the other day. The numbers have moved in a while, so let's get those reviews up. Or those like to see those. And then of course, don't forget schedule updates. On Mondays, the main episodes drop. Those are weekly, by the way. Bi-weekly, we have LMG Presents Marvel Multiverse RPG. We are back on the adventure, so no more. Took not a break, but like a break from the adventure. But we've been back, so be sure and check those out. And of course, on Wednesdays, we have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. That is Brandon's wrestling podcast where he's talking all thing in the world of professional wrestling. And then bi-weekly as well. On Fridays, we have Spenser. We have DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. That is Spencer's review podcast where he is reviewing the entirety of the DC animated universe. Spencer, what we got?
Next week, we will be reviewing Green Lantern, Beware My Power.
So yeah, there you have it. Be sure and check that one out. And be sure and stop by and listen to the episode. And that's all we got.
Okay. So, you heard from our wonderful AI that there was a spoiler warning issued at the beginning of this episode. And the reason for that is because we will be reviewing the newest in Star Wars Disney Plus hotness, Andor Season 2. We are going to review the entire season today. And, we're just going to talk through the episodes, see how we felt. Brandon, how we running this?
Yes, sir. We are going to go episode by episode, kind of break it down. But first, I would like to get some of our initial thoughts, some of our overarching thoughts. I will leave the last for Jordan. I think we all know where he stands on shows of this caliber.
This caliber. I just want to also, before we start,
Yeah.
we gave Andor season 2. Oh, not season 2. Sorry, Andor season 1. Just to remind everybody that it seems that everybody really enjoyed it. I'm trying to find our reviews. Did that come before Ahsoka?
That did.
I
Yeah.
say pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We actually don't have a rating for Andor.
That may be
Wow.
before we started.
I think that before
track.
we started
Yeah,
recording
because the TV shows, I think we were. I'm surprised, but yeah, kind of checks out. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I will go second. Spencer, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about this show and the galaxy far, far away?
Well, I can say confidently that I enjoyed this season more than season one,
Okay.
and I would like to make sure that the people are aware that when it comes to Star Wars, I'm not a Star Wars guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've tried and
Yeah.
it hasn't done it for me. It hasn't
Mm-hmm.
locked me in. And so with that, I have not consumed like an absurd amount of Star Wars media. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the Star Wars I have consumed was through, intense peer pressure and or the podcast.
Yeah.
But
Both. Yeah.
I this is the best Star Wars item that I've seen in a while.
Mm.
Now, and again, there's a lot of Star Wars stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen Mandalorian, I haven't seen Boba Fett, I haven't watched the Clone War. Like there's a bunch of shit I haven't watched. But as far as shows go, this is the best season of Star Wars that I've seen.
Mm. I love it. I love it. Um, I will take it a step further. I believe this is the best show on television this year, as the same thing I
On
said
television.
on television.
Oh yeah, that's so crazy.
The same thing I said the year it came out before. When season one came out, I believed it was the best television series that year. Won a ton of awards, so a lot of people agree with me. Um, I want to say, was that the same year Shogun, or was that? I think that was a year
No.
before. I think it was
Yeah,
a year
that was
before,
before.
show. Yeah. Um, and
Because Shogun cleaned up.
yeah. Um, but I just think this is the best Star Wars story there's ever been. Personally, I think this did the greatest job of truly like breaking down why all the lightsabers and all the ships and the planets and why any of it matters. Why we should relate to any of this, right? It's a galaxy far, far away. There's aliens. There's people. It's a bunch of craziness going on that we cannot relate to. However, this show showed us there's a ton that we can relate to. Rebellion, fascism,
Yeah, the word insurrection was thrown around a lot.
insurrection, yeah, immigration, like so many different things that we can literally, like, we can look at the news
propaganda.
Today. Yeah, propaganda. We can look at the news today in America and literally pull it and do a one-for-one comparison with how how Andor is built, the Star Wars situation. So, like, to me, it's just done the best job of explaining why we should care about Star Wars of any show ever. Because, but these other shows is like, yeah, it's cool, it's great. Yeah, Jedi's, that's cool, great. But the Force was always kind of that, like, it's the Force. It's kind of a mysterious thing. You don't really know why it exists or who has it or why they have it or you know what I mean. It's a bunch of magical stuff. But this is street level. You know what I mean? This is what I consider street level. Just like there's street level Marvel, there's street level Star Wars, and I prefer street level because now I can understand. Oh, the Empire was only in power for 20 some years, not that long. You know what I mean? Oh, snap! Like they still had a Senate. Like I would think if I'm Palpatine, I'm the most powerful being. You still have a somewhat of a government. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's certain stuff you wouldn't think would even happen in Star Wars, but this stuff explained all of that. And so that's why I think it's the best. I think it's the best acting, it's the best writing, and still had dope action scenes. But it hit home. Like that episode we'll talk about, episode 8. Like that's as brutal as it gets. You know what I mean? Like that thing hit home. So to me, I'll explain throughout the episodes we go through, but I believe this is the best television show of the year and potentially of all time.
All right.
Of all time. I believe so. I truly believe it.
Come on, man.
I truly believe it. Like
the years are already rough, but all time it's crazy.
no, there's not a show on television better than Andor. There just isn't. There just isn't.
I
So
mean, there's literally so many other shows out there. But I mean, hey, personal opinion. Some people say cucumber tastes better pickled, but I
There
get
it
it.
is. There it
there it
is.
is.
I get
Ding
it.
ding. Somebody take a drink. But yeah, I just think it's the best show out there. Just like when we saw Shogun, we was like, oh yeah, this is a level of quality you just don't get all the time. Like there's some shows where like you look at their budget and you be like, I cannot tell that you spent 400 and something million on this show just by the way it looks, the quality. In Andor, you can tell. Oh yeah, I can tell you where every dollar was spent just because due to the quality, the sets, it wasn't a bunch of green screen. It was like legitimate sets and designs and everything, and the backgrounds and all that. So, and every planet felt its own place. Like Gorman, that was Space France. Like we'll talk about that, but like it was very clear, like distinct cultures throughout season 1 and season 2. But Jordan, go ahead. Go ahead with your haterade. Go ahead.
Well, I do want to say that there's still a lot of game left in 2025.
Yeah.
I think we got some other shows potentially that could outdo it, but we'll see. Um, but to get to the show, again, like Spencer mentioned, I am not the biggest Star Wars fan. I watched all of them in consecutive order in 2019 to get kind of completely caught up. I didn't watch Rogue One. Oh, I've never seen Solo, but I
You should
watched
watch
Rogue
Rogue One.
One.
Oh, okay, you did see Rogue One.
Yeah, I watched Rogue One right before season 1 came out of
Yeah.
Andor. So it's like I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, and a lot of my knowledge runs together. I know I probably said it every single time. Just got people let them know because I definitely be forgetting the name of the movies. Now, Andor season 1, really good. First 3, 4 episodes was a little rocky there. I ain't gonna lie. Season 2, same thing, man. I'm be honest. The first 5 episodes,
I'm not mad at that because
I
it
had
it
no
took me
idea
a
what was going.
minute to lock in. Like
Yes,
I think episode 5 is when I was like, all right, we're in there.
I'm
And
like
it
6 was where I'm like I'm in there. I'm
it
getting there.
normally I'm normally in there faster than that.
Yeah.
It took a minute for me to be like, all right, like it was a chore.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, we're here.
I told Spencer it took me 4 days to watch episode 1 because I kept being like I can't do this, bro. I literally just finished it today. I was clocked in, like I was locked in. Once I got past 5. I was like, oh man, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. 6 was like, okay, we getting there. I see what we're doing here. 7, I was like, okay, I'm riding the wave. We going up. 8, I'm just like, oh, okay. Hey, I'm locked in. 8 through 12. 8 through 12, I'm locked in. My problem with Star Wars is these names. These names be so difficult. I'm just supposed to be knowing the name of these
You watch
places, these
anime.
people.
I can't help you there. Like that's a you problem.
That's a
But
you problem. You
I
watch
didn't know.
anime. What are you talking about?
I didn't know if Gorman was a place or a person or a thing for a long time. I didn't know what was even going on. What's his name? Saul. I still don't even know what he's doing until I watched the recap video of Rogue One today. I was like, that's how Saul played into it. Or Saul's or whatever the hell you say his name. They introduced so many new characters to me in this season too. And I was like, I don't really care about none of y'all. I just want to know what happened to my boy who was on the ship who couldn't swim. I still want to know what happened to him. They just forgot about my boy. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that was so many new characters. The time jump. I was a little mad with the time jump a little bit because like I said, I want to know what happened. Overall, though, I think the season was good. They gotta figure out that first part. Like the setup is real rough.
Do you
What do you?
remember if you think this season or season 1 was better?
I would say this season is better, especially 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 7 through 12 I think was way good. I think episode 8 is better than the ship episode from season 1. I think
What's up?
that whole arc. I think that whole arc is better.
Ask. It's comparable. It's actually a good comparison to make. But
Like that
No
arc
Way
of
Out is
yeah, that arc I think is like I'm taking the arc as a whole.
yeah.
I think that arc right there on Gorman is better than the ship stuff. At least
How much?
because it had more to me. It had more like emotion in it. Because
Yeah,
like we'll get into
I
it.
can see that.
That was a lot of emotion that was going on in that.
Yeah, I agree. No Way Out is one of my favorite episodes of Star Wars in general, but this Gorman one was dope too.
Yeah,
Like it
and
was really good.
I would probably say that I would agree with probably Andor is probably the best Star Wars like TV show. Even though I didn't see no lightsabers, but I don't know, it's kind of whack. But
I knew it was coming.
yeah, bro, I got to see some lightsaber, bro. Like, come on, man.
Bro, a lightsaber don't mean nothing if you don't know what it's for.
Also, I'm about to complain. There's gonna be a lot of complaining from me
Okay.
with these damn guns because I'm like, bro, Star Wars got to get some blood in there. Old boy got shot in the head. We can get to it later. Old boy got shot in the head and nothing. It didn't look like nothing. I was like, all right.
Bro, they all die.
It's a laser. Like,
Yeah,
why
I
would
need
they
to see-
bleed?
Why wouldn't
Yeah,
they bleed?
that's a
Because it's
Oh
a
well,
laser.
yes,
It's
okay,
hot.
that's fair. That's
that's a
fair.
cauterized
But,
wound.
but that's fair. That's fair. But I don't see no holes nowhere.
Because they're dead. They don't focus in on, oh, he popped him. Let me go get close. It's like,
Nah, bro. The episode where the robot had the dude using him as a shield, all you seen was the little black marks on his armor. I'm like, come on, man, that's what's going through him. But anyway,
I mean, it ain't gonna be a clean, like,
no, it should be clean. It's a laser.
I mean,
There won't be blood.
I know. I need it.
I'm cool with that. I mean,
Yeah, like I don't need blood here.
yeah.
Also,
I'm here for the gore, but like I don't need it in this situation.
And I just want to say when we get to episode 8, it sucks that clone troopers can't shoot. It was like thousands of people, hundreds of people out there, and clone troopers still missing. I'm like, bro, this is at this point, like, what y'all even here for?
They was popping a few people.
They was also missing a lot too.
But yeah.
Like, how you miss and it's a crowd of people?
I mean, it's scattered, it's chaos. And they shooting back. They got that thing on them. But
we can get to it though.
But yeah, okay. So what we'll do with our review, as many know, we'll just go through episode, we'll recap an episode, and we'll talk about it, recap an episode, talk about it, so on and so on. So for episode 1, Jordan says there's not a lot of action. We start with action immediately off the jump, off the gate, off the tip off. Andor is doing an undercover mission, and he's stealing an Imperial ship. He got a little assist from a black woman. We always got to have a black woman to assist us by our side. That helped with the successful mission. And he had a great speech with her, letting her know, like, hey, you being part of the rebellion is now you're free. Now the only bad thing is he wasn't expecting this particular ship to be the one he stole, so he didn't really know how to pilot it. Like, he didn't really know what he was doing. He had to kind of figure it out on the fly while also being chased. Had a really cool spaceship sequence. We do see that Bix is getting over some PTSD from what happened to her in season 1, with her mind kind of getting scrambled. Mon Mothma is preparing for her daughter's wedding on their planet in their estate. Bix, Will, Brasso are mechanics on a foreign planet, and they are illegal aliens. So they're looking over their shoulder because the Empire is there looking for visas, right? They check in if you're a citizen or not. So they're a little worried about that, and they're on the run, right? Will literally threw a bomb at and blew up an Imperial tank, so he's on the run. Andor tries to exchange the ship on another planet. It looked like he was in Vietnam, damn near, but is ambushed by a hashtag rebellion group. Krennic, who's working on the Death Star, has a secret meeting about the Death Star project, and they decide Gorman is the next target due to its resources. Dedra is there as well, and she's part of the secret group. So guys, what did you think about episode 1? What did you think about kind of that hot open? He's in the ship. That was a really cool sequence, I thought.
I agree. And I thought that it was an interesting twist that he didn't know how to pilot the ship, which like caused chaos.
Hey, bro, he was bouncing. He hit every corner of that room.
Yep.
Like,
it was rough.
Like the loudest escape I've ever seen. Just boom, boom, boom. Like, dang.
Yeah, just truly causing a ruckus.
Yeah. He didn't have to kill that droid like that, though.
I mean, this has got to be.
That's tough. Put a hot one in him. I was like, golly. But No, that was a dope sequence. I love that ship. I wish I can find that in Legos, but that's a dope ship. Jordan, what do you think about it?
Whack, bro. It was rough. I will say the CGI looked good. Like when the escape ship, like him flying off on the ship was good. But other than that, bro, this episode was rough.
I think I can say like because Star Wars, at least in my experience, they try to avoid CGI when they can.
Yeah, that's what I love
And
about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like and I think that visually Star Wars does really well,
yeah,
generally speaking.
10 times better than Marvel because they're not scared to use. And I mean, there's aliens in Marvel than that, but like they'll use practical effects for aliens. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And they'll
like a lot of practical stuff.
yeah, and because we had some like very like campy stuff in the '70s, they kind of lean into that and
Yeah,
like, but it
like
still
I
looks
love
good.
when I see like an alien like puppet.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
on
Like,
it, like an alien whose mouth just barely moves.
yeah, like that's cool to me. Like that is not really anybody else doing that. So that was dope. That scene was cool. That was cool to me.
I didn't even understand the whole wedding stuff. Like,
Yeah, and I will say I think that for some people the episode was probably confusing because we were in like three places at once
Yeah,
trying to like piece this story together
yeah,
because I like while I was watching this again like I had trouble locking in at the beginning, so I was like I really only care about what's happening on like where Bix is and like
yeah,
the Empire looking for me. Like I care about that, but like the wedding, don't give a fuck.
yeah, I
yeah,
was like, why are we even here? Like, what's going on?
And, like
yeah.
Andor, I mean, I they're trying to make me care with him being you have 15 blasters aimed at you right now. Don't tell him that.
Right.
Well, he needs to know. Like
Yeah, that was a
that
trash call.
they
That
are really bad at
they
what they
were
were supposed to be doing.
they were awful. But the reason the wedding was big was because Mom Mothma offered her daughter to the guy to get his help with financing and making the books look good, so the
I
Empire
didn't
could.
I didn't catch none of that.
Well, it was
And
in season 1.
yeah, and is this the episode where she was like, "My mother was drunk at my wedding,"
Oh
and
yeah, and she's like, I wish you
Yeah,
was. I was
like,
like,
"I wish you were
damn.
drunk." I was like,
yeah,
"Ooh."
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, I was
yeah,
like, why she even say that? Like,
bro,
that's messed up.
bro. If my mom, I would have just heard a slap. Like,
Well, yeah, that's because we black, but in a galaxy
yeah,
far, far away, you can do whatever you want to your parents,
Yeah, like
apparently.
these Brits, they're very
bro, she
proper.
didn't. She disrespected her like 4 or 5 times throughout, but no,
Well, I mean,
that
it sounded like she was saying, "Hey, you." She wanted to say like, "You don't have to do this.
yeah, 100.
Like,
percent
if you don't want to marry, like, I
She
know that
felt bad.
I kind of sold you,
Yeah,
but like, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this." And the daughter was
like,
like, she was locked in, I guess.
yeah,
Was Mom Monster season one?
yeah.
Yes,
Throughout, she's throughout.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess I should have did like a recap whole video
they
before
made
then.
a like, and they like Disney was nice enough to put
And
a
guess what?
season one recap on there.
And how many times I tell you I had to restart? Like it was, I had to rewatch
you
it too
hit the.
many
You
times.
must have skipped the recap because the
Because
recap
the
talked
the
about it.
recap is they have like a 12-minute recap
Oh yeah,
that
Yeah,
I must have skipped that thing because I don't remember seeing that at all.
yeah,
Because yeah, I was like, man, who is she again? I was like, they supposed to, but then I like, I don't know. After I watched the Rogue One video, I was like, okay, like I'm starting to put everything back together again from like what happened.
yeah, yeah. And this is prequel to Rogue One, so some stuff timeline wise can get confusing if you don't know where
Yeah,
everybody is. But Mom Mothma is a senator at this time. She's comes from a very wealthy family. Like I said, she was offered her daughter up to another wealthy guy to help her out, finance the rebellion, at least on our side. That's why they're having the wedding. Um, and that's why Luthen is there, like, what I mean, watching her back because he's like, I don't trust. Like he cool with he obviously he talked to Mon Mothma a lot in season 1, but he also is doing his own thing and he don't want her to mess anything up or have any like weirdos around her. Um,
Luthen is somebody I was always like, do I trust him?
yeah,
yeah, same,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, Somebody made a great point. They put, God, dog, I can't remember, but they basically said Luthen is like the Malcolm X of the civil rights movement. Like Malcolm X is basically like, hey, whatever we got to do, we're going to do it.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary. And if it means we got to get violent, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And they were basically saying like Luthen was the Malcolm X of the resistance of you know what I mean? And I thought that was a really cool comparison. But yeah, Andor, tries to exchange that ship. He calls out for the guy. He's dead. And there's this ragtag group there. They surround him. There's a lot of them too. And then Krennic with that little secret meeting. They were, man, that was tough. They had a whole propaganda crew there talking about how they were gonna spin it and stuff. It's just like, man, this is stuff they do. Like,
I like how all of the villainous people were very British.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like the whole empire, like everybody who we don't fuck with was British.
Yeah, and like a strong British face too.
Yeah, like they cast that. They were like, who are the whitest people on Earth?
Yeah.
Those are gonna be the dastardly ones.
Yeah, bro, and I love Krennic. Krennic's one of my favorite like Empire type of villains. He was in Rogue One. I was kind of sad when he died, but like he's just really good, and the actor's great in everything he does. He made freaking Secret Invasion somewhat watchable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No, man, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, he did. He was good. Like he was really good in that, but he was carrying Samuel L. Jackson's sorry ass on his back.
He was,
you know what I mean?
He was the guy I was looking at. I was like, you're such a villain.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he was great. And yeah, they kind of explained like, hey, how are we gonna take this resource from this planet where it's not just blatant, you know what I mean? We gotta be able to blame somebody.
And he went to Dedra. Like he saw her talent.
Mm-hmm.
Because he basically like, Dedra, I know you've got a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know you got something cooking.
Yeah.
So let's hear it.
Yeah. She was just basically like, you know what I mean? You gotta do something more. You gotta be able to blame somebody or be able to say, hey, they showed some resistance, so that's why we acted type of situation.
Yeah, like you need somebody you can depend on to make noise.
Yeah, exactly. Enough to where we have to act and justify why we acted. But yeah, good start. Episode 2. Andor is trying to survive in Vietnam, basically. With the two gangs, they're going back and forth. They're dumb, and so Andor's having to tell them, "Hey, you might want to gather some water. Hey, you might want to turn the ship around." You know what I mean? Like he's having to make sure these people are competent enough to where he can still survive, and they don't get him killed accidentally. Dedra mentions she doesn't want the Gorman Project, but is wisely advised to take it due to it could help her career out. Bix is warned about the Imperial Patrol checking visas, and so they're all kind of on the lookout and a little scared about that. Cyril is showing the little kid around the corporate offices. Man, it gave me PTSD going around the corporate offices. But Cyril, he basically just takes his job too seriously, and he's basically like an Imperial trainer. And he's showing the kid around and like, hey, I was at this job and I found this one thing and that's what helped me get to the next level. You can be that too, very Cyril way. He gets off work and he visits his dominatrix wife at home. Dominatrix. And that was kind of a shocker to me because this is obviously a time jump. So we didn't know where the Cyril Dedra relationship ended. We knew it ended kind of weird in Ferrex when he pulled her off to the side in the closet and they kind of had a little awkward situation there. But we didn't know where that led. But now my man pulling up at home, giving her a kiss. She's telling him what he's gonna do and all this stuff. So that was interesting. Luthen, of course, is at the wedding, but he's keeping a very close eye on Mon Mothma. She chopping it up with a little too many people, and he just making sure who he needs to clip. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and then Andor outsmarts the crew with the help of Big Monster and escapes from Vietnam and grabs the ship. What do we think about episode 2?
Again, like I struggled.
Struggle.
Like episode 2 is where like I had trouble locking in for episode 2.
Okay.
Is this the one where like we saw the dancing at the wedding?
Yeah. She got drunk.
A
Yeah.
little too much time on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
I didn't even care about
we
none of
spent
the
a little
wedding.
too much time at the wedding.
Yeah, I agree. I did not care about that wedding.
Like I think that I wanted to probably spend more time with the Empire looking for visas. Like that's what I cared about.
Yeah.
I will say Andor escaping was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what I cared about. And the wedding, I was like, okay, come on. Like
Yeah. No, they definitely focused on it a lot. Again, they were showing kind of Mon Mothma was kind of like her talking to Luthen and Luthen being like, you know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? If I gotta pop somebody, I gotta pop somebody. If you say something wrong or they start acting a little weird, I gotta
talk
do what
shit,
I
get
do.
hit.
Exactly, yeah. So but no, I do understand that critique. Like
And I guess we
yeah.
needed to show her getting drunk because of the comment from the first episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't need it.
Also, this episode, it was one of those moments, and I feel like I say this in Marvel too, but something that takes you out of the moment. Something that took me out the moment was when all the guys, and Brennan keeps calling it Vietnam, all the guys in Vietnam basically was like pulling and turning the big old ship. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't think that amount of people have been able to turn that ship.
I mean, I will say what I did like, they had a little marker and it was like they got to move that thing like 4 or 5 centimeters, and it was like we had to put everything we had just to lean it a little bit to the left or right, so the guns can face obviously the other group.
I don't know if that group, if that many people can turn it, because I'm thinking of like something that big. I mean, we know those ships got to weigh a ton. Like I was like something that big. I don't know if that short amount of people can pull enough strength to be able to move that ship like they did. But then I have to be like, you know what? It's a show. Gotta get out of it.
So it's got to happen.
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I was like, all right, I'm fine. But
it was a smart strategical move. Yeah, I'd have to watch it again and know how like fast they moved it or if they moved it at all.
Because I feel like between the whole group, it might have been like 10 people, like 20 people total max there, 10 on each side.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it wasn't a lot of them.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Probably right there. Yeah. Like I said, the escape was cool.
Oh wait, the rock paper scissors thing too. I was like, come on, man. Well, because then they start playing rock paper scissors to see who
they did.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing? Like, is this? They was like, yeah, we got this tradition we got to do, and they just
when they called like 10 or it was something. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, basically like
that was
version
kind of
right.
lame.
I was like, what are we doing?
It felt like this is what like if all adults died and like the oldest people were like 12, this is how they would run the world. Like that's what they felt like.
Yeah,
like,
no,
they felt like children trying to, do some shit, and it just wasn't.
Also, one more complaint. I know a lot of people like, damn, Jordan, quit complaining. But I'm just saying, it's gonna get better. But in a galaxy far, far away, I'd be expecting to see more aliens than human-looking people. But you get more later on. But I'm just like,
I think that's a general complaint with Star Wars is like awful lot of honkies in here.
Oh damn, that's wild. Especially when they go to France. I'm like, yo, this is wild. Like everybody speaking French in this thing. Like,
yeah, I do like that. There's different cultures on different planets. You know, what I mean, there's some places where it's like in Marvel, like sometimes like you'll just be like, oh, this is just another American speaking.
Well,
planet.
I mean, at least Marvel takes place on Earth. These mother effers are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like there should be less regular humans.
Yeah. Why?
Because we're in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah,
but I mean that'll. I mean, okay.
I'm like, if in the galaxy far, far away, where everybody understands everybody else's language,
isn't true.
You said that's not true?
No,
bro. 1000%. They always know what an alien's saying.
Not always.
Yeah, not always.
Somebody always know the language.
I mean, somebody does, yes.
Somebody that's a human always know the language.
Yeah, they probably around.
That's a survival tactic.
Yeah.
I guarantee you right now, I asked 20 people in my life if they know what, a Japanese person is saying in their language.
Jordan, don't use yourself as an example for
All
culture.
right, how many people you know speak Japanese?
I have a dear friend who speaks Japanese. I go to lunch with him a couple times a month.
That's not Japanese.
That's not Japanese that can understand Japanese?
Yes.
I mean, not that many, but this is a different society. They know.
If I was in Japan, guess what I'd start to learn?
Yeah.
Japanese. So if I'm on a planet with some fucking aliens, guess what I'm gonna start to learn?
But in a galaxy far, far away, everybody a different alien species, and everybody just happen to know everybody's language.
Everybody doesn't know everybody's language.
Yeah, I don't know why you think there's like a universal translator. There's not the case.
I don't know. It'd be seeming like it.
No, I mean, certain people interact like Han Solo and like the Wookiees. Like he knew their language, but he didn't know everybody's language. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. Basically, like I said, we're introduced to Cyril and Dedra's official coming out, their launch party. You know what I mean? Like official coming out. They got a house together, a little spot together.
Is this the one where his mama come to? Was that the next?
That's the next one. That's the next one. Yeah,
all right.
But yeah, solid episode, I thought. All right, episode 3. Like Jordan mentioned, Cyril's mom pulls up and is kind of rude, to say the least. I mean, but it was very well acted, honestly, very, very accurate. The mom pulls up and just thinks she can just say whatever to whoever, and treat you however she wants, and no one's supposed to check her. But Dedra definitely puts her in her place.
Dedra was not having it.
Yeah, Dedra put her in her place, let her know this to continue being in their lives. She will act accordingly.
Yeah, Dedra make deals.
Yeah, exactly. Andor's pissed and leaves to check. Like basically, he's in the ship. He's pissed because the handoff of the ship didn't go well, and then he finds out Bix is in trouble due to the visas and things of that nature with the Empire. So he hits it hyperspace over to them. Will is over caking with his little white chick and puts everyone at risk because they trying to pack up and leave, and this fool over here saying his sweet goodbyes. And Imperial soldiers show up, of course, and we have a very creepy, Inglorious Bastards level awkward, intense moment where one of the Imperial soldiers tries to, hit on Bix. He goes a little wild later on, but this is the first introduction of creepiness.
Yeah, this is the first time she's like, "Oh, my husband wouldn't approve."
Yeah, 100%. And so, in this one, I'm trying to remember if this is the one. Does Bix die? I mean, does Brazo die in this one? I think Brazo dies in this one.
I thought he died in the next one.
Is Bravo the guy to try to rape her?
No. Bravo's the
he's
guy.
One of the friends.
So I think in this
one of
episode,
the aliens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dude who's on that speeder cycle or something.
Yeah.
He died when Andor arrived.
Yeah, I think
because Andor goes to check on him, and Andor's the one who's like,
Yeah, he died. Yeah, he dies in this one.
Yeah, he dies in this one. Yeah, because
this one. Okay,
I think it's right at thing because then they
leave.
They leave. Yeah, and then she.
Okay,
leaves.
I thought it was 4, but okay.
Yeah, timeline's kind of throwing me off, but I have it down that he dies, and obviously Andor picks him up. They're pissed about that, and they leave with Andor to go to Coruscant. But yeah, how'd you feel about episode 3?
It's nice to know in a galaxy far, far away, men are still assholes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the Empire. Like, the fact that they have arrived, they're checking visas and trying to deport people.
I mean, rape is crazy though. I did not have it on my bingo card.
Same. Like I was unprepared for that, and I'm glad that she defended herself.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, uh, he was over there caking with his milk. That's hilarious. But that's what
um,
happened.
yeah, 100%.
Causing issues, and then everybody, just running through the wheat fields
Mhm.
trying to escape. And yeah,
Yeah. He yeah, it was about Cyril, the mom. She
yes,
was
let's start there.
great. She was great. The mom actor, like, very carried over everything she did in season 1, saying the most crazy stuff to him. And bro, I died when he was like, I have to go. I have to go. Calm down real quick. And then he laid on the bed like that.
Yeah.
Bro, dying.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
did he pass out? I was like,
No,
I forgot he
he
went to go
just
do that.
needed a minute.
nah,
Yeah.
bro. Boy was having a 8-year-old temper tantrum. It was laying on the bed. He's crying, bro.
That was funny. Yeah, and,
That
and again, Dedra was like, "You're not gonna keep talking to my husband like this."
exactly. Like, for you to come
So
around, like, yeah, you
yeah,
better come
you're gonna
correct.
clean that shit up, and
Yeah.
I will make sure that he calls you at least once a week.
Yep.
Like I will keep him on the schedule, but you will not continue to stress him out like this.
Absolutely. Because she could just look at him and tell he just kept getting, she kept pushing his, she knew how to push his buttons.
Yeah,
And every time he would react, and she was just like, oh, calm down. Calm down. I got this.
yeah.
And yeah.
And honestly, like that was the one moment where I was like, I fucks with Dedra
Yeah. Yeah.
because that was wife shit.
Yeah. That was.
Like she took care of her husband in that moment.
I think that's when I knew she was dominatrix for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
She was
I
about that
knew that
business.
she quote unquote wore the pants,
Yeah. 100%.
but I wouldn't have gone as far as dominatrix.
Oh, she definitely is dominatrix, and he's definitely like a little submissive dude.
I can see that. I can see
I knew she wore the pants.
it. As far
And
as
it,
you
and
go.
it happened to be leather.
Oh, wow. Hey, hear me out with Dedra.
Ooh,
I can't. I won't. I don't see it.
I can.
It's,
Yeah, I agree
bro,
with this
especially
one.
this season. Last season, I could see the hesitancy. This season, she's put some stuff on. She had that shit
No,
on.
I
No,
don't
she
think it.
didn't.
No, she didn't.
I don't think she
What?
did. No.
For
I
Imperial wear, she had.
again, like that's not a milk I can drink.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't. I'm gonna let you ball out. But that is a true hear me out because I can't hear you.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Like, yeah. Those who understand me understand. You know what I mean?
No, and
Shout out to y'all.
I'm sure that you are not alone.
Yeah.
But like at nope, like her mouth couldn't curve upward. It was just in a hard frown at all times. And again, she didn't do it for me.
Mm.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe it's just me. All right.
The actress in real life, maybe, I don't know. But Dedra, I can't. But Brandon, on the record, you like him a little bitchy. On the
Damn,
record. You've said that.
damn.
I mean,
So
I've
I
said
think
in.
that Dedra, yeah, that tracks.
Brandon might be a submissive too, huh?
Hell no. I just like him having a little, you know what I mean? A little stuff to him, a little spice to him. You know what I mean? But yeah. No, that was really good. That whole scene was great. Took time for that one. What else we have? Yeah, Andor, anytime he hears Bix is in trouble, we're gonna hit that hyperspeed.
Yeah. Again, the wedding. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm tired of this. Like, we're spending way too much time here.
Let's move on.
Yeah. I agree. This is kind of the last time we like this is kind of the end of the times when we're starting to get the wedding, but I agree. Probably too long there. Like I said, Will's over there caking. Yeah, and Imperial soldiers show up, and yeah. Yeah, it's the thing I respect about Star Wars is like it's so accurate to like when there's an empire and when you've been a fascist government for so many years, like you get lazy, you stop caring if somebody's registered or not, or you get situations where there's rules on the books. You have to have a visa and blah 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 blah. But then you have soldiers who go rogue and they start they corrupt. So they try to use it for, hey, if you you know what I mean, if you chill with me, you know what I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing about you not having a visa or stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's very accurate to how things
Now I wonder
go.
why we didn't get to see Cassian's little R2D2, little red one. Like they
Oh yeah, B2 emo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, dang, that we didn't get no scenes with him.
yeah, he got very little playing time. I was a little disappointed by that.
Like I think he got episode 1 and that was it.
I think he got limited time in one. He might have got limited time in two
Like only thing
or
I remember
three,
he's
but
like,
yeah,
asking about where's Cassian. And
yeah,
he was like, oh, then the old dude who died was like, yeah, I'm gonna send you with this lady. She'll take care of you. That's literally the only thing I remember from him.
yeah. I wonder if it's just because that was Marva's, his mom's droid, and not necessarily
Oh,
like his. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
But I agree though. We should have got more minutes. Like he was a great. People loved him. Like internet loved him. He was great. Um, Had a really dope Lego series as well. Um, all right, let's go move on to episode 4. Bix is having bad dreams again. Starts to wake up in the middle of the night. We've kind of had a time jump, and Andor checks on her, makes sure she's all right. We follow Cyril, who's now on Gorman, and he is over, running his own like security little wing. And his mom questions his decisions of going there. She thinks he's been kind of cornered and kind of thrown to the side. And he's also approached by the rebels, the local rebels of Gorman. And he kind of plays it like he's interested, but he's really trying to gain information to tell Dedra. For those that don't know, Gorman is based essentially like space France, essentially. Lonnie, the ISB's like inside man, he tells Luthen that Dedra is now over Gorman, which kind of frightens Luthen because he knows how thorough she is. Mon is doing her politicking thing. This is really cool scene. This is when she was kind of going from alien senator to alien senator, being like, "Yo, hey, we need I need y'all support when I talk about this thing." Blah blah blah. Will visits Saw Gerrera. Deception, lies. He was Forrest Whitaker was great in this.
He's so extra.
He's so extra, but it's so consistent. Like it's great. But and then Bix is on that lean. Bix is on that lean to go to sleep.
Yeah, bro, taking drugs.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, but solid episode. I really liked that because Saw Gerrera, for those that don't know, he's in Rebels. He's in Rogue One. Rogue One is where he dies. Spoiler alert. But I just thought Forrest Whitaker, because I remember first seeing him in Rebels, because he voices Saw Gerrera as well. And I was just like, this don't really make sense. But him being so extra is kind of fits because he's the extremist. He's the dude who thinks, for the better of the rebellion, he'll blow up a hospital in Coruscant just to prove a point. Oh yeah, he's one of those like low-key terrorist type of situations. He's like the far end of the resistance. There's like right wing, left wing. Saw Gerrera is like that extremist who will literally kill whoever he got to kill just to, you know what I mean? And he's been alienated from the rebellion and many times. Mom Martha's had to tell him like, hey, yo, you got to stop killing people. Like this ain't helping our cause. But that was really cool. Actually, oh no, that's the next episode. But basically, he visits Saw Gerrera. Saw tells him, "Hey, you got to teach homeboy some things about this machine." What y'all think about Cyril and Gorman and his mom kind of talking down to him again? I thought she got checked, but maybe it's because
I think she did too.
In front of she was, and maybe she was just giving him sound advice and not really like killing him that much. But
yeah. I think she was more behaved.
Yeah. And she honestly might have been right, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, my man got sent out there just because of Dedra. And then I really like the Lonnie. I really love Lonnie and Luthen's interactions. They always have really cool, like, dialogue. You basically tell him, like, yo, Dedra's over Gorman now, so you got to you got to come correct. There's no slippage you can have, because Deadwood don't play. And yeah, Bix. What do we feel about Bix being on that lean, being on that stuff?
She has some trauma to work through, so
That purple Sprite. Yeah.
That scissor.
Yeah.
Didn't Lutheran give it to her?
I
Who
thought she
gave
just
her?
had it.
Did she just have?
Am I
Okay.
tripping? Maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought you just had it.
Oh, she might have just had. Okay, I thought. But did Lutheran come to visit her? Or is that not this episode?
Yeah, he does, because he kind of checks on her well-being, and he kind of sees like she looked like it's a dorm room like situation where Andor had to leave, and she got noodles on the ground and
I
kind of craziness.
Brendan, we kind of talked about this, but I wondered, like, is Luthen two people?
Oh, okay.
This is when I was like, is Luthen one person, or does he have a brother? Like, I think the wig was really good wig.
Yeah.
Again, it felt like he was always in two places at once.
Oh yeah, because he left the wedding and then went straight to Coruscant.
The periodic time jumps and the fact that he had different hair and he was dealing with different. I wasn't locked in enough to realize Luthen was one dude until later.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, great actor. So he played it well.
Another Skarsgård.
Yeah, man. Like anytime he had his wig on, he's very flamboyant and things of that nature. But when
he was in character.
Yeah, when the Luthen was Luthen, he was straight up. I still think one of his spaceship scene in season 1 was one of the greatest Star Wars action scenes ever. Like he had 2 lightsabers on his ship and just tore through some people. But yeah, episode 5, Andor goes undercover to Gorman. He plays an art. I want to say an artist.
Yes, I think so.
One of the artists, and he meets with the rebellion. He's basically getting a feel. Luthen sends him there to get a feel for the rebellion that's going on down there in Gorman. Is it legit? Is it, what's going on there? And Andor meets with some of the rebellion members. One of them almost blows their cover, and Andor has to like give him a little bit of game, like, hey, don't do that. You could potentially put everybody in danger. Cyril's office gets doged. So basically they walk in there like, hey, I need all y'all to leave. We're basically doing a check throughout and making sure
a full audit.
Yeah, full audit to make sure none of y'all are part of that rebellion. And Will goes about trying to teach one of Saul's peoples how that machine works. And once he teaches him, Saul kills the guy who he was sent there to teach. Blaster right to the face. And so Saul basically was like, well, I'm seeing that you're not, he trained you, but really he's the valuable piece here. So he kills the guy, calls him a traitor to the rebellion. I don't know if that was just an excuse to say he killed him. And then he has Will on a project, and he sniffs that stuff and that cocaine, and then he starts to have a little bit of a reaction.
That was what I had questions about.
Gotcha. So I don't know Saul's full story. For those who don't know, David can come back or hit us up in the Facebook group and correct us. I do remember that Saul sort of like, as he's continuing to live, he's more dependent on his body and the fumes that are coming, the chemicals that are coming from his body and some of his mechanical pieces of his body. So like you'll see it's crazy because his health continues to deteriorate. Like, so in Rogue One, you'll see him breathing on that thing all the time. Whereas in Andor, he breathes on it every now and again, but you can tell he's in a little better shape, like his health overall. But yeah, he does sniff that chemical. And it does honestly has a effect on his brain. Like he makes some he'll sniff on that stuff and then make terrible decisions afterwards. Like he'll be like, traitor. Or he'll just be like, let's kill him because he's a traitor. And the person's clearly not a traitor. So I don't know the full backstory, but maybe David can help us for sure. But
yeah, I was definitely lost.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, so I guess there's this toxic chemical that Saul has just been living in.
Yeah.
And he just
Yeah.
Smell that?
Yeah. Sniffing paint, basically.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Wilmon ends up, breathing it in, and it gets to him.
Yeah.
But
100%.
then he was like fine mostly later.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, he was.
I was like, well, um, I I don't understand what's
Yeah.
happening.
It was an odd choice to have him sniff on it at one time and then not be either addicted or not just to be a one-time thing.
Like, yeah, to be relatively unaffected,
Yeah.
or it not come back up again, or
Mm-hmm.
like, and again, I was unclear as to what it was. I was like, is he gonna be permanently fucked up now? Like, what?
Yeah.
I
I thought it
didn't
was gonna die.
understand.
I didn't know what it was.
Nah, yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised because like that's something Saul would do. You know what I mean? So no, that's a good question though. It's definitely some toxins. He breathes on it all the time. And Forrest, Forrest is perfect for that type of stuff. Like they were like, "Hey, Forrest, sniff this stuff and just be extra afterwards." And he's like, "All right, bet."
Yeah,
Like,
I think they just said, yeah, just be extra, and
yeah,
he was like, how extra you want me to be?
yeah, lies, deception, traitor. Yeah, he's great. Um, yeah. All right. So, in episode 6, Andor tells Luthen Andor's done his reconnaissance. He's seen what the Gorman rebels is talking about, their whole operation, and he goes back and meets with Luthen. He tells him that the Gorman rebels are doing too much. Right, their goals are too high. They're trying to disrupt too much stuff, and the rebellion's gonna basically punish them. And Luthen's like, well, I mean, like that's what they got to do. Like, would you rather me tell them to stop and continue to suffer? And Gorman Rebellion, uh, they pull a heist basically at the end of the episode. And there's some casualties. I forgot my girl's name, but she was in the original heist in season 1. But she's popped, unfortunately. And they had obviously the two women had a relationship, so that definitely affected her. And Bix catches. Oh, at the end, Bix catches the dude who scrambled her brains. She catches him slipping.
Yeah,
And kills him using that same machine.
yeah, because she said, Andor, wherever you're going next,
Yeah,
I'm coming too.
yeah, back in action. She was like, before we go, I got one thing to do. And she caught the homie slipping, and yeah, that thing is no joke. You know what's crazy, and George, you might remember this. In Rogue One, Saw uses an alien to scramble one of the Imperial pilot's brains, and he's trying to get information. That alien is what they use in that machine to scramble people's brains in Andor.
That's dope.
Yeah, so in like Rogue One, in Andor season 1, they talk about an alien whose noise is like the screams of babies or something like that, and it like messes with your brain. And like in Rogue One, Saw Gerrera uses that alien. It looks like an octopus basically, but yeah, it's really cool looking. But yeah, that was crazy. I was not expecting Bix to catch a body. I just wasn't. Especially him. I thought that at first I was like, is this a vision? Is this another dream? You know?
Yeah, I thought that same thing. I thought that, yeah, Bix was having a dream whenever
Yeah.
she got him, and then
Yeah.
whenever she and Andor started walking out, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we did it.
And
And
it
then they
blew
blew
it
it
up.
up. Yeah,
Yep.
then they
Yeah.
blew it up.
Yeah. I was
So
like,
he's
damn.
DED.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
But I did.
this is the episode when Andor confronts Luthen and says, like, you went to see Bix?
Yeah. He was pissed about that.
He was pissed.
He was pissed.
Yeah, and this is also the episode where I started getting more invested.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like, I liked it because it was like, you can tell Andor is about the rebellion, but to a certain extent, he not willing to do everything yet. Where Luthen is ready to go to whatever line he needs to go to.
And that is, like, later, we see that, like, we see Bix realize that.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
Make an executive decision based on it.
Absolutely. And yeah, with the heist, unfortunately, yeah, homegirl gets popped.
Yeah.
She was great.
I was also confused about that
Mm-hmm.
because the dude who like showed up
Yeah.
And the kid was like, "Hey, you need to leave. You need to go back home. You need whatever." And then that dude just kind of like bitched him.
Yeah.
And then that's how she ended up getting shot. And then it looked like he was carrying her body. Like I was confused because, like, was he a part of the rebellion or was he like a random person from the street? Like I didn't understand that part either.
I want to say, if I remember the heist planning, so I remember when Cyril first visited their little undercover rebellion, like little like show where they were kind of all yelling and talking about. He was there, and he was kind of going off script, and they were like, "Yo, chill out, like you wilding." And then I remember them planning it, and they kept saying like, "We're the only ones that are gonna have guns." Like, and we're gonna everybody run through us basically. And so I think he went off script. They tried to be like, yo, chill, like move around, and then got it pushing around, and then he pulled a gun was pulled out, and shooting occurred. That's what I kind of remember.
Yeah, like I think just like a couple blasts went off
Yeah, couple
and she
blasts.
got.
Yeah,
Because yeah, Cyril was watching from afar.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
I think he reported like, "Hey, a gunshot,
Mm-hmm.
like a single shot was heard." But okay, that's why I was confused because the dude who showed up
Yeah.
and like I was like, I I didn't realize he was a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought because they were in the middle of the street, so
Yep.
there could have been random people who walked by, and I figured if
100%.
anybody walks by, they're just gonna be like, "Hey, go back home."
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought he was just
A
a
random
person
guy.
who lived there.
Yeah, same. I thought the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in it because he's the. You remember, like I guess later on, we'll talk about episode 8, but he consoles one guy when he dies because he's kind of in that group.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Later, I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay, you were a part of this," but like
right.
while it was happening, I was like,
Yeah, no, they
"What? Like,
definitely.
why is he carrying her dead body
Yeah,
if he's a so
random.
like yeah,
Yeah.
I was confused."
I get that. I get that. But no, that was unfortunate, man, because them two had history, and they kind of had just like came together and been like, hey, I love you type situation, and kind of been like, hey, after this, let's talk to
Let's
Luther.
run away together.
Yeah, let's get permission to be together, whatever. So yeah, that sucks.
And yeah, but whenever she said to him, like, "No, you don't get to cry."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good
That was
statement.
tough.
Yeah.
That was rough. She was like, "No, you don't deserve."
Yeah, you over there crying?
Yeah.
Nah.
Wipe them tears.
Yeah, you will live with this.
Yeah.
Forever.
Your miserable life. Yeah.
She was a better warrior than you'll ever be.
I was like, God, dog.
Yeah, but that was her love.
But that's real though. Like most, in most shows, they would have been like, "It's okay. It was an accident. It's all right." No, you're gonna get these words.
Yeah, she said that like for me personally and for our whole operation, you fucked up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But because it's personal, I'm gonna have to say it to you.
Yeah. That was
glad to hear this.
real. Yeah, that was super real. All right, episode 7. We finally get to see Yavin. And that is the home and the headquarters of the rebellion. You'll see that in Rogue One and continue even in Rebels. You see it. Yavin is a well-known place, so it was really cool for like those in the know to like see Yavin because you just don't usually in the live action you don't see it that much. And Will tells Andor about Dedra, and he basically says like, "Hey, she on Gorman. Like he says she's there waiting to be killed, essentially. So, hey, man, you pull out that chopper and handle your business. You know what I'm saying? We can eliminate a big problem if we take her out." And Cyril is starting to get a little sus about Dedra's mission. He's kind of like, "What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you're telling me one thing, but I'm hearing other things, and it was a really cool moment where we did have a force user on the show, and she was kind of I couldn't tell if she was a force healer or something like that, but essentially Andor is kind of definitely afraid of like the force, or doesn't believe in that type of stuff, but he was sus about her and he walks off, but then she kind of spills the truth to Bix, like, hey, like this kid's due for great things, and you kind of have to let him do his thing. Like his destiny is going to help everybody, unfortunately. And so I think Bix kind of took that and ran with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue. I got a question afterwards.
No, go ahead, Jordan.
Why is he afraid of the Force?
He's very
skeptical
about all that stuff. Like he never talks about Jedis. He never talks about any of that stuff. Like to him, and I mean, and it's consistent with who Andor is. Andor doesn't believe in a lot of this extra stuff. He barely even wanted to be a part of the rebellion in the first place. He was just like, hey, I'm gonna just keep my head down. Empire ain't gonna bother me. He gets thrown in prison. You know what I mean? So he kind of knew from that point on, he was like, all right, like this is a legit cause. But I don't think he ever was like, yeah, we're gonna rely on some Jedis to get us out of here. He's just not a magical,
not a religious man.
Yeah.
So at this point, all the Jedis are still alive, or has Order 66 happened?
No. So we're before that. This is before New Hope. So we haven't even got to New Hope yet, right? So we're Andor. We're gonna get to Rogue One.
So the Jedis are like powerful right now.
Jedis are a thing, but they're not very powerful right now.
Okay. So question.
Yeah.
When Order 66 happened, like, was he Darth Vader or was he Anakin still?
He was Anakin still. Yeah. But he was turning into. He was basically, that's his heel turn moment.
Yeah, because you remember he chopped up some kids.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was thinking. Like, I feel like I remember Anakin doing that, not Darth Vader doing that.
Yeah.
But by Rogue One, he is Darth Vader.
Not yet.
Wait, I thought he was. Yeah. Because at the end of Rogue One, he comes in.
You're right. My fault.
That's the hallway scene.
Yeah, that's the hallway scene. 100%.
So 100%. Okay, and I guess that's why it since we're before Rogue One.
Yeah,
I guess that's why I'm confused as to when is Order 66 in this timeline?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's sort of an odd because you got your prequels, then you got Empire takes over. Cool, they over for a couple years already. Then we got the Resistance. Then we got Andor. Then we got Rogue One. Then we got New Hope. You know what I mean? Obi-Wan's old by New Hope. So yeah, so Jedi's been here. So yeah, Jordan, you're partially correct. Or Jedis are around, they're just kind of been taken out by Order 66. Most of them anyways. But no, that's a good point for those that kind of confused about the timeline and all that. But yeah, he's just kind of sus about all that stuff. So it was cool to just see a Force user, especially in the show, so grounded. Just one Force user, cool, great. All day. Let's do it.
And it wasn't like any excessive.
Yeah.
Like it was like, hey, what did you see?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It was as far as it went.
Yeah. And that's what I loved about Rogue One. Like, there really was no Force using outside of the dude who.
The blind dude?
Yeah, the blind dude who loved the Force. He didn't use the Force, but he believed in it, had faith in it so much that where you kind of believed he had Force powers, even though he didn't. So yeah, that was great. But yeah, episode 7 was pretty good. And all right, let's go to episode 8. Let's go to episode 8 on my notes here. All right. So we have
wait. In episode 7, he pulls up to the hotel. Mm-hmm. Does everybody know who he is? Because like that dude just figured, like the hotel staff dude just like figured he was part of the Resistance.
Oh yeah. He
But I was like, how did he know that?
So I
thought the hotel staff dude was also a part of, like, he was an aspiring Resistance.
Yeah, but does he know who Cassian? Like, is Cassian famous among them?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember because I know it's time you're talking about. So Andor goes to Gorman twice. He goes the first time as the artist,
and then he goes again as the.
And he goes the second time as the reporter. I think the second time is when he goes. I know who you are. Like, I basically know who you are. I'm not gonna have to check you in or anything, but and he basically tells him like,
But I was like, so I assume Andor is famous among resistance people.
he might be, yeah,
Because he even told him, he's like, yeah, she gonna go tell him. Oh, that was when he was on his way out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I agree. I think he kind of knew. Like I think he knew from the jump. Like the fact that he's coming so many times. Like, all right, you're doing something with the rebellion. And Gorman's a hot place to be right now. So,
yeah, like I knew that he knew whenever he was like, "Oh yeah, I never checked you in." Like you wanted to worry about that.
Yep. All right, we are on episode 8, the big episode. This one, there was a lot of propaganda going on. They had the news going out talking about propaganda and basically making all the Gormans look like they were just resisting for no reason, being aggressive. Called it an insurrection, which I thought was dope. Because like most shows would be like, they try to dance around it, but like, no, it was an insurrection.
No, they said the word several times.
Yeah, 100%. They tried to make it look like there was an insurrection when it wasn't. But yeah, they get into the area. Unfortunately, the guy who was kind of started the resistance is kind of like, hey, like this is a trap, obviously. Like they've set it up, barricades, all that. Like this is a trap. We don't have to. He basically wants to do the Martin Luther King route in silence, be peaceful, blah blah blah. And they're like, nah, we got to make a statement. And of course,
we can't do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We can't do nothing. And meanwhile, Andor is looking to, he putting that thing together, which was fire, by the way.
That I agree. That was a fire gun.
That was fire because I didn't even realize he used his regular handgun.
Yeah, and just added attachments.
To it. Fire. So he's looking like, all right, how am I going to get this off? You know what I mean? I'm going to get this jump shot off. And
he hesitated too many times, though.
Yeah, he did. He should have pulled the trigger a few times. But I wonder if he didn't want to get caught. I don't know.
I assume that, it was like, if I'm going to shoot, I can't miss.
You can't miss.
Well, even though he was like, she behind glass to take 2 shots, so.
Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, so obviously, long story short, there is a Gorman massacre that is endorsed by the Empire and the Imperial leadership. They want to get them up out of there, so they start firing. They start
with a sniper.
Yes, sniper shooting their own men.
Yeah, that was tough.
And that way the rookies think shots are being fired at them.
This is the episode where Cyril almost chokes out Dedra, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly. I don't
know. She kind of liked it.
You might be right. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Cyril confronts Dedra and calls her out, and he also calls it quits. The massacre occurs. So not only are they firing on these poor folks, then they let out the droids, and the droids just start mollywopping.
They are too much.
Bro, when he kicked that thing,
that big old barricade,
bro, and then killed that girl.
No, I will say I don't know how she died. I mean, granted,
she got tossed.
She get tossed, but I was like, I don't know if you die from that one.
Yeah, a small little frail. No, man, a bigger guy. I don't think so. But a smaller girl getting tossed like a bowling ball, basically. Yeah, and that neck might snap. But yeah, he was just the George is just going through clothesline of people. It was like ugly. Yeah, it was rough.
Because I was like, why did they let the droids out first? Like they were fucking people up.
Yeah, they really were. And it was extremely creepy when Cyril went in that room and that K2SO droid was just staring at him.
Why was he just staring at him?
He was like, hey, make a move.
Yeah.
No, he was like, make a move. It is going down in here. So yeah, a bunch of chaos ensues. Obviously Dedra I don't want to say she feels bad. She feels bad that Cyril feels bad. And she
feels a little bad because she hesitated to call the order.
Yeah, that's true.
And she was shook afterwards.
She was shook. She was shook after.
You're like, I don't know if she. I mean, I know she knew what would happen, but I don't know if I think seeing it may have hit. Like, it let us know that she's still a human in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was affected by the massacre. Andor barely. Most people from the rebellion, the Gorman rebellion, are killed. And at the end, Andor finally gets a clean shot at Dedra, and Cyril sees him. Cyril's whole entire existence for the long period of time was about capturing Andor. And so he just can't help himself, confronts him.
Yeah,
nice
spears
little,
him.
yeah,
nice little hit stick.
Yeah, hit stick. Nice little hand-to-hand combat. Like, you usually don't get that in Star Wars. Usually somebody whipping out a lightsaber or something. And like, we got a little straight up fisticuffs.
Yeah, they were just fisticuffs. That's
exactly. Yeah.
Even I got lost with Andor. I was like, who are you?
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, he's like, who? Like, he's like, who are you?
Yeah, bro. That had to be so. I just bled. I just survived a bomb.
Like, Cyril been getting disrespected all episode, this whole shit, and then you don't even know who I. All right.
Yeah, I followed you around your hometown, and you just gonna disrespect me and say, "Who am I?" That's crazy.
Okay, don't worry about it.
And then he got yapped in the head. That's crazy.
Yep, got a hot one, literally.
Exactly. Andor's running away with Will. Obviously, the droid comes after him. Somebody had to get that big truck on him. Runs him over. This was a great scene if you know Rogue One, because he runs over that droid and he's about to leave, and then he's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and collect this droid real quick, just in case.
When he finally put him back to the ship, I was like, oh, that's the droid that's running with him.
Yeah, exactly. That's his number 2. He's big time. That's his personal droid. It's K2SO. And one of the best droids out there, honestly, because the voice actor, amazing. He's great in everything.
Was it Alan Tudyk?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
When I heard him, I was like, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, and it was dope to see like behind the scenes, because they just put him in a thing and he just walked around with Cassian Andor.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, so it was really cool. So his mannerisms are the same and all that. So yeah, that was dope to see. And he obviously, Andor, you got to see the emotion of all the craziness that went on. So that was really dope. All right, episode 9. Obviously, everyone knows of the atrocities that happened on Gorman. Gorman senator is detained because they think he's part of this resistance that came up. Bail Organa tells Mon that, hey, I don't know what I got to do, but I'm gonna make sure you get to speak tonight. Just be ready for to speak in front of the Senate. That's actually a different actor for Bail Organa, which some people felt a certain type of way about.
I was gonna say that is not my Bail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is not Bail Organa.
But I wasn't sure enough, because there's a guy I had in my head, and I was like, I'm pretty sure the guy in my head is Bail.
Yeah,
and whenever this guy was Bail, I was like, maybe the guy I'm thinking of isn't Bail. It's a different guy, but thank you.
Yeah,
because I knew it.
Yeah, apparently there was a scheduling conflict with that actor, so they just had to find a replacement.
But I was hoping he didn't die.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what be happening.
Yeah, I know, especially Star Wars, unfortunately. But yeah, Bail Organa basically tells her to get ready. The Empire, of course, is caught spying on Mon, spying in her office. Of course they are. So they find a little.
There are a lot of listening devices.
Yeah,
bro. Because Cyril had one in his office, didn't he?
Yeah, bro.
So they spying on everybody,
bro.
We need to hear all y'all.
Yeah, when you looked at that little Imperial dude's dashboard when she broke it, and it just had like hundreds of
yeah,
I was like, damn. But yeah, Luthen tells Mon basically, hey, when you done with that speech, get your ass on this ship. I'm gonna escort you. I know Bail said he gonna get you up out of here, but his people are corrupt. Only trust my guy. You have friends everywhere type situation.
That's what I'm gonna say to you. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Mon delivers an inspiring speech and calls out directly Emperor Palpatine, which no one has done at that point. She made a brave move, but she got to get up out of there. Bail's people obviously try to kill Mon, but Andor got that thing on him, gets her up out of there, and they're able to escape to Yavin. Bix decides she leaves a FaceTime and basically letting Andor know that, for the greater good, she basically chose the resistance over their relationship.
Yeah.
And
because she said, Andor, I know that you will choose me over everything.
Yep.
So I'm going to leave because you're meant for more.
Exactly. She didn't want to stop his destiny, which, man, bro, when Spencer, you've seen Rogue One, Spencer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Bro,
I've seen it once and it's been a while.
Yeah, but when you just know how that ends, everything hits harder.
Also,
everything. Yeah.
I wonder how much time has passed since the end of this season in Rogue One, because in Rogue One, doesn't he basically fall in love with old girl?
No, that's what. So I rewatched Rogue One not a couple days ago. It actually is so good because they never kiss. They hug.
They just only hug at the end.
They only hug.
Okay.
But they don't ever. I will say there was a little moment where it was a little weird, but overall it was all platonic. So that's what makes it even more. Because in the movie you're like, okay, these two are probably supposed to be in love, but they just decided not to do a kissing. But when you know the context, you're like, oh snap, he was staying loyal to his joint back home. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was really good. And yes, she dips, lets him know like, hey, you're a huge weapon for the rebellion. I don't want to distract you from that. But yeah, really good episode. I thought Mon Mothma's speech was great.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
Yeah.
And they were saying, I don't care what you have to do, cut that shit off.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, they were
scrambling.
Yeah, that was funny. He's like, it ain't been locked the whole time, but on the day I need it is locked.
Yeah. Bro, that whole sequence of her talking, them trying to get the Bales people trying to get to her, and then Andor trying to get to that whole sequence is amazing.
Yeah. Because I was like, I know one of these people is Heil Hitler. I know one of them is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That driver pulled up, she's like, bang.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought it was like the conversation that they had where he said to Mon, like, you have to leave, and she was like, no, we have to leave. And Bale was like, no, I'm staying here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're always on course, huh?
Yeah. So we're gonna make this thing happen. And I yield my time to another senator.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that was really
she started
clever.
going.
Yeah.
And yeah, she kept saying, like, I have to work on my speech. That was very realistic. Like, I have to practice.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get it right.
Yeah, she went out to the lobby.
Yeah. You know so I like that they like put that little realistic point in there of like, yeah, I'm gonna go practice the speech.
Mm-hmm.
Because can't fuck it up.
No, that's a one shot.
Not in front of everybody.
They were trying to cut her off immediately.
Yeah. And I like that they said, and the senator is awarded uninterrupted.
Yes.
Time.
Yeah.
So all the other senators honored it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people in the booth, they were like, get her off the screen.
Bro, they were trying to pull up on her little thing.
Yeah.
Break down the door and all that. But no, that was great.
They said cut the power to everything. I don't care what you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, they were hot about it. But yeah, just the urgency and the intensity of that whole episode was dope. All right, episode 10, Luthen. Damn, why am I getting his name? Loney. Is it Loney? The ISB agent, basically. He reaches out to Luthen and says, "Hey, I got something for you," basically. And so Luthen tells, I think it was Clea, like, "Hey, I'm going to meet him." And they have a cool little moment, like, "Hey, I think this is probably the last time we're probably going to see each other alive." So he goes to meet with Lonnie. It was Lonnie. And Lonnie's like, "Hey, before I give you this information, I need you to guarantee me and my family's going to be straight." And he's like, yeah, for sure. Yavin, yeah. Y'all can go to Yavin.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got y'all. But I need that information.
I need that info right now.
Yeah. And he's like, stop playing games. I need that information. And so he basically says Lonnie has been basically infiltrated Dedra's quarters and got a bunch of information. And he found out about the Death Star. And I thought that was so cool because everybody know about the Death Star, But it was just so cool how they kept it so secretive, because that's the big project. That's the thing. That's the big weapon. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. And they go back and forth a little bit. Luthen didn't even know about the Death Star, so he's trying to get more info. And then we see, oh boy, Luthen put a hot one.
So Luthen is the one that did it. Did we see him do that, or I must have missed it?
No, we just see that he's dead on a bench.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought so, but I was like, damn, who shot him?
And again, that's just because again, I've been saying this whole time, like, do I trust Luthen?
And
this is one of those situations where I was thinking to the other dude, like, don't trust him.
Yeah,
you gonna get got.
You know what? So Luthen, in the scene with him and Clea, he pulls out a gun and he puts it in his thing. And I'm like, interesting. He usually doesn't take a gun, but I do think Lonnie was like, "Hey, I'm hot. Like, I'm screwed. Like, they know." Yep. It's like it's only a matter of hours before they come get me. Mm-hmm. So I think that's when he knew. All right, like,
I'm gonna have to put you, because I can't have you telling.
Yeah, exactly. I got to put you down, which sucks. Which definitely sucks.
Yeah, I mean, because he could have taken him to a safe place, and no.
Yeah.
Your family, fuck them.
I feel bad for the mom, for the kid, the mom.
That's
yeah. But
again, this is the evidence that's like, no, Luthen gonna do what it takes.
Exactly.
Like this is the by any means necessary evidence.
Yeah. And Luthen, obviously, after killing Lonnie, he tells Clea that, hey, these are the important points that you need to remember. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know these important points. Yeah, bullet points. And then they disperse. And then, man, one of the best scenes of the season, Dedra pulls up to the barbershop. She pulls up to the museum. And Luthen tried to play it cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were both in character.
No, they were. And and you get, when I say this, the Inglorious Bastards of it all, like staying in character, but you both know underneath why I'm here, and it's going to go left pretty soon. Here's just how fast.
Here in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And that was really cool, because she was just like, oh, really? Oh, because he was like, you know, I'm really excited. She was like, oh, dang, now I'm nervous. Like, I was like, dang, like, now, because I'm really like, oh, Dedra, oh, she's being nice. And then it was like, no, this is a Star Path unit. You are Axis, essentially. And calls him out. And my boy, you know, he spitting game. My boy Luthen has bars at all times. He basically is like, the rebellion is out of here already. Like, you can kill me, you can take me in, but the rebellion's far away now. It flew away a long time ago. And so she's like, all right, I'm gonna take you into custody. My boy, what's the thing they call in Shogun?
Seppuku?
Oh, Seppuku, yeah.
Yeah, Seppuku, my boy, the Seppuku. I think he's about to die. Of course, Star Wars, like, they're gonna put you on a gurney that has a thing on it, and you know what I mean? You'll be able to live for some reason.
Yep.
And
it's a galaxy far, far away. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And we get and then this is a great episode also, because we get a history of Luthen and Clea.
Yes.
Like, background of why they're close, why they have such a reverence for each other.
I don't know if we wanted to save this until the end, but Clea was my favorite character.
Really? I like that.
She had HBIC energy.
Yeah, she
like
did.
I loved Clea. Whenever she and old dude were in like the museum, the display, and she was trying that whole scene, like I was like, I fucks, because she was bleeding.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, we're doing this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, she was the HBIC.
She was great.
As a child into her adulthood. Like, if we were gonna do some hear me out,
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, like
that one ain't bad.
That's where I'm going.
I'm not mad at that
one. I really liked her. Like, she was definitely my favorite character in this season.
Crazy thing is, I found out that recently this is her first acting job.
Okay.
Like ever. Like, apparently she right out of college.
And she was excellent.
She was amazing.
Yep.
And yeah, she was amazing. And yeah, we'll talk about that, favorite ones. But yeah, she goes on to have another great her history, so we know why she's down for the cause and who trained her. She was trained by the best. She's basically trained by the Jedi of being a resistance extremist type of dude.
Yep.
And the hospital scene was great. Like,
and like the way she negotiated as a child, like that was, I was like, fire.
Yeah, that was great. And so she's like, and she sees Luthen being escorted out of the museum. She's sad about it, but she knows what she got to do.
She know the game.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta end it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. End the suffering. So she pulls it to the
hurt,
hospital. Yeah,
but yeah, she was like, this is what we signed up for.
Yeah, and Dedra, of all people, just goes on a solo mission. And during this, Dedra starts getting in trouble because she went on a solo mission to get Axis, and so she's getting in trouble dealing with that. But mainly, Claire goes and ends Luthen's life through a bunch of craziness in the hospital. But what do we think about this episode overall, Jordan? What do you think?
I think it was a good episode. Like I said, at this point, like I'm locked in with everything.
Yeah,
this was a really good episode.
Yeah,
and yeah, Lutheran and Daedra.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Might have been my favorite episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
I still like 8. 8 was mine. I like the emotion of that one.
Yeah, that was great.
I feel like this one had more emotion in it.
I don't know, just because especially Cassian at the end, like you just see him drop that tear.
Yeah, that tear. That was
and
tough.
just like everything that was just kind of going on, like because legit, like the people started like singing. They're like, "Yo," they looked around like, "Yo, this looks."
When
violent
people were singing the anthem.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
that's when I knew. I was like, "Oh, shit's about to go bad."
Yeah, that's when I knew too. I was like, "Oh yeah, they about to get set up."
Yeah. No, yeah. I agree. 8 is emotion. I feel like this one was a little more like politicking and a little more sneaky stuff going on, which I really
like enjoyed. I feel like this one like was a smaller scale episode for some reason because it was more about Clea.
It was more personal,
yeah. Personal is a better word for it.
Yeah.
And I think because Clea is my favorite character, that is why this was my favorite episode.
Yeah, this gave her so much context because she was loyal, which we all loved. She ran the board really well. She was ahead of all communications. But this gave you like, oh, this is why she has reverence for him so much. Like he saved her. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was great. All right, episode 11. Krennic finds out about Dedra and all her mess. So he starts to interrogate her and is just calling her out a name, puts his finger on her top of her dome. Disrespectful.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I really thought she was hurt when he was doing that. I was like, I rewound. I was like, dang, did she really get hurt for a second?
Yeah,
I think it was just emotional. I think it was ego hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you push your finger down someone's temple of somebody, that hurt. You know what I mean? And yeah, I agree. Like she was scared in general. But yeah, Krennic was in there talking crazy. But he had legitimate points. Like, how would you not know someone infiltrated your quarters and now we got people who know about the Death Star, they're on the run. Claire calls for help. Once she escapes the hospital, she's now back at the regular spot they had with Luthen and Coruscant. She needs help, right? So she calls for Andor, and Andor pulls up. And basically Andor pulls up and he helps her, but now the Imperial soldiers are pulling up and they're trying to go at her.
Because dude went to Dedra and was like, Dedra, you know these people better than anybody. What are they going to do? And I was like, Dedra, don't help them.
I know. But she was just like, they wouldn't use normal communications. Like,
she gave them all the answers.
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them nothing either.
Yeah, facts.
How about y'all let me out of here?
Yeah, facts.
And then we can talk about it.
And so basically, I really loved how that ended, and then boom, finale started off hot because we were already in the thick of it. Basically, in episode 12 starts out K2SO basically goes Undertaker, 2002 mode. Yeah, it just starts putting in work. He catches like 8 bodies, because they're stuck.
Because communications are cut off.
Yeah, communications are cut off.
And as soon as he can't reach nobody, he's like, all right.
Yeah. exactly.
He pulled that
Like,
Thanos. I was like, all right, I'll do it myself.
yeah, he put dude's head through the communication thing. I was like, damn.
Because yeah, like they were like, did we order a droid here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what are you doing, droid? And bow. It's
yeah.
Oh,
A drop kick to the chest is done for. But yeah, basically K2SO handles his business. They're able to escape. They get back.
Your rescue's here.
Yeah, exactly. I've cleared a path. Um, they get back to Yavin, and people want to be a little disrespectful. The council is a little disrespectful toward Luthen. They try to minimize his effects on things, and Andor had to set him straight.
Cassian, it was just like, yo, if it wasn't for Luthen, like none of this would even be
none
here.
of us would be here.
100%. 100%.
Now,
Yeah, to let them know.
What has the time skip happened? Like, where are we?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're still in the same time because these 3 episodes kind of in the same back to back to back.
Okay, because I feel like there was like a 1 year later, or like there was a point where Bail and Mon Mothma are together.
Yeah, Bail does show up to
some time had passed at that point.
Yeah,
but
okay. Once I think the time passed once they saved her from the Senate, and now she's back on Yavin. There's a little time, but not too much. We're kind of now starting to stay in this around the same time because even Rogue One is like literally the next day after 12. But yeah, they basically get back. Yeah, like you said, like they're getting disrespectful. Andor puts them into place, and then Bail was like, "Well, when's the last time you talked to Luthen?" He was like, when he sent me to save the woman who's sitting right next to you." He was like, "Oh, duly noted." It's like, yeah, like don't question.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Don't question me. But yeah, they're a little. But basically, Andor shares with them plans of the Death Star. The 2 people are sus. Now
they're kind of like, do we believe?
Yeah,
which is crazy.
That is consistent with Rogue One. I will say, we're watching Rogue One. They was the same way. They was like, I mean, they could be lying, and it's like, nigga, like if it was up to them 2,
like Luthen died for this.
Yes, all of them would have been dead if them 2 senators. If anybody would have listened to them 2.
The fish dude and
I love the fish dude. The fish dude's great. The captain. I forgot my dude's name, but he's a well-known character. But he's a great admiral. But the black girl and the black guy, yeah, they were trash. But yeah, he basically just letting them know about the Death Star, and we need to do something about it. One of the hardest scenes, man. Imperial. I should know his name because he was amazing throughout both seasons. My Imperial guy, who was kind of the wise guy for Dedra.
Yeah, whenever he killed himself.
Yeah,
I was confused why that happened.
So the Empire goes through a lot of captains. Now, what usually happens is a general or somebody's given a mission. They fail that mission. Then they're sent downstairs. And they got to go see Darth Vader. And we all know how that's going to end up. Right? So he knew that now that the Death Star plans have left, you had a chance to get them in Coruscant. And you failed. Right? K2SO, Clea and Andor were able to leave, and now they have the plans for the Death Star. They're about to tell everybody. So now that's your fault. And
okay, I didn't know that he got blamed for that.
Yeah, because he was in the booth.
I thought that Dedra and I guess the dude that arrested Dedra would have gotten blamed for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think they're gonna blame the higher up who was over all of them. And he was in the booth when it was happening too. So I'll say that. But yeah, dude was like, "Hey, they told me they want you to. I'm supposed to bring you downstairs. So
you've been summoned."
Yeah, he's about to get force choked. But
no, I'll do it myself.
Exactly. He's like, let me gather my thoughts. I felt bad because like dude was great throughout this. Like his acting was amazing throughout the season. But yeah, he committed suicide.
He don't make it to season 3.
Yeah. And then Bail Organa basically is told by Mon Mothma, the other captain, looked like Captain Flag looking dude. He's in Rogue One too. They basically tell Bail like, "Hey, we got to do something." So Bail does give Andor the green light to go to a place where Saw Gerrera is, and basically, no, actually, he has some dude named Nimic or Tavik or whatever his name is to get some information from him. That's where Rogue One starts. And so he's good to go there. We do find out that Dedra's in prison. She is at the prison Andor was at in the women's division, whatever it is. And bro, I ain't gonna say I felt bad for her, but bro, when the lights cut off and she just started crying, I'm like, dog, that's so real. That's so real. Like in prison, you're not about to cry when the lights on. Like you're not about to have people looking at you crazy. But them lights hit off and you just by yourself.
Now, who was the dude in the car that was like having a drink with that woman? Who was that? Did I miss who that was? It was like towards the end.
Having a drink with the woman.
Yeah, they was like in a flying car. It was like it was about to be like the credits and everything, and like he just like was in the car and like had just a drink with her. Yeah, I don't
Since you
know.
know?
No.
Okay, it's like yeah, I don't know. It was like it looked like a little Cadillac or something, but it was flying, of course. And yeah, he just had drinks with her in the back.
With who?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know who either one of them was unless I was tripping.
I don't know on that one. Or I guess I don't remember that scene. But yeah, we find out Dedra's in prison. Andor's on his walk back. He sees the Force healer, sees her. He sees his crew, who ends up being in Rogue One. Clea kind of seems like she's kind of okay now. Like she's starting to become herself and understands like, okay, Yavin ain't that bad. And then, of course, the big scene. We got Bix as a kid. Andor Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, that got me. That got me right there. But
Because they don't even know.
And that let me know that a lot of time had passed.
Yeah.
Because that was not I guess it was a baby, but
yeah,
I was like, okay, so a pretty good amount of time has gone by.
Right.
Because she was not showing last time we saw her.
Yeah, agreed. She must have been pregnant, knew it, didn't tell him during that last time.
Or
you know what I mean?
Found out when she left.
And that makes you think of, forget my girl's name, but she kind of told Andor like, "Hey, go see her.
Oh yeah.
Go see Bex. Like, I know y'all got issues, but like, go see her when you can." He's like, I'll go see her. And he's like, nah, like you need to go see her.
And for a galaxy far, far away, we're assuming that you're pregnant for 9 months. These are aliens, remember?
Well, these are humans.
I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
the people that are
humans?
humans are human.
Yeah, they're humans. Yeah, you don't have to be on Earth to be human. So I mean, yeah, but I would assume 9 months. But yeah, you're right. It might be something different. They probably got to.
Well, who knows? This could be the end of Rogue One. Like it was like a time jump.
Nah, yeah. I mean, it's literally. I watched for Rogue One like a day after. Like it's literally him walking, getting on that ship, flying. First scene of Rogue One. Boom, he lands that ship on the planet, and he meets one dude.
That's what I'm saying. So like with this baby part, that could have been after Rogue One.
Maybe, but it seemed like it wasn't like after credit. It was right after, so I'm assuming. But who knows? Who really knows? But yeah, that was tough. But what y'all think about the finale?
I think it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, satisfying, especially kind of knowing what happens to Cassian.
Yeah,
and how his story ends and how it all begins, as far as like the season picking all or ending where Rogue One starts.
Yeah.
And the big Death Star reveal to us too. Because also they mentioned not only Death Star, but the one dude from Rogue One. Of course, I don't remember his name, but the name is one of the words that she told him.
Wait.
Wasn't because he was like
oh yeah. Galen Urso.
Yeah, something with it. Yeah. Urso, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Because it starts with Rogue One. Yeah, you're right. They visit Krennic goes to see Galen Urso because he's like, I need you back. And then that's how he kills him and he kills the wife and gets the daughter.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So no, at the end, it was like a lot of names being thrown out. And I'm like, damn, who is these people? And then I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I didn't know until I watched the recap for Rogue One. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Put everything together.
Yeah. Spencer, what did you think?
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick spot questions. Spencer said his favorite. Clea is the favorite character. Jordan, who's your favorite character from the season?
I feel like I'm pretty basic. I'll probably rock with Cassian.
Yeah, Cassian's dope. My favorite is probably Luthen. Just he played the game well, and I mean he said in his speech, "I'm doing this for a sunset that I'll never see." You know what I mean? And that's literally what happened. Like, and honestly, A New Hope. You know what I mean? Luke get all this credit for killing the Death Star and Han Solo. Luthen, Cassian Andor.
For one for them, huh?
Put some respect on them dudes.
Got us here.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, do we want to rate the seasons?
Yeah.
Give it a number.
I mean, please don't hate me, Star Wars people. But I did talk about how it took me a minute to get locked in. Those first 5 episodes, they brought that number down. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I'm giving it an 8.5.
Yeah, also 8.5.
Dang.
Wow, Spencer.
That's go ahead and say your 10, Brandon. We know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you think it's the best show ever, then yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 for sure. Two of the most highly rated Star Wars episodes of all time.
Yeah, I saw it made that list. I was debating it with somebody recently that it made that list.
Yeah. No Way Out
list
from last season was on there, up there too. Some of the greatest IMDb scores of all time.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the list I was referring to.
Yeah.
It's still in top Invincible episode. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, people give animation a little bonus, a little bump. You know what I mean?
I think it's the opposite.
No, people are. I think 10 years ago, yeah, I agree. Like it was a clear discrimination. Now, most people prefer their stuff in animation. Where I disagree, but okay, 8.5, 8.5 is crazy, but we'll rock with it. We'll rock with it. But yeah, great season television. It's unfortunate it's the end of it, but it makes this show made me want to go watch other Star Wars stuff. Like Rogue One was great, but it made me now go, damn, A New Hope will have a whole different meaning to me now because I'll think less about these great Jedis and I'll think about the people that no one ever talked about again. No one talked about. No one brings up Andor's name in Star Wars ever again. You know what I mean? It's just like, damn, like you think about people who fight for a country who laid their life on. Some of our ancestors laid their life down on the line for stuff.
You'll never know their name.
Their name will never be spoken of, but without them, it wouldn't be what it is.
Especially now.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, it just makes you think of stuff like that. Like, damn, like, yeah, in Empire Strikes Back and they doing all this crazy stuff and it's all dope and Force users. And you're just like, damn, like Luthen is the reason some of this stuff is possible. Andor, Clea, all these people. So it's just really cool. Mon Mothma, all of them. So it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they won't have season 3, but like, please don't make a season 3. There's just
no, you can't. It's
Rogue
One.
They did, yeah, would have to like. What would they even
follow some other characters or something? I feel like that's what they would try to do.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it doesn't need to be Andor.
Some people have said they wouldn't mind a Clea. I don't know if it's like a full. You're not gonna do a new 12 episodes, but like a little mini
series,
a little mini of like what her situation was.
I fucks with Clea, so
yeah,
I'd watch it.
Yeah, like she just has so many skills that make you want to be like, oh, that's dope.
But whatever comes after this, though, that's a lot to live up to.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what a lot of people have talked about. Like a lot of people compare anything to Andor now, which I understand. But yeah, it's nothing else is going to be. Tony Gilroy produced Rogue One, and then he produced this and directed some episodes. So like this is his world. So like he said he does not care about Star Wars. He only did it because it was about a rebellion and politics and stuff. He doesn't care about lightsabers and Jedi. So like Dave Filoni's that's his bag.
So as far as live action Star Wars content, TV shows, is Mandalorian still looked at as the number one, or is this?
That is a great question. That is what we kind of talk about with the differentiator between the type of fan you are. I do think Mando is at least top two, is at the worst top two. Just because Mando is really good, but Mando is like, it gives you everything. It gives you the Mandalorians, Jedi's, Luke Skywalker literally showed up in an episode. You know what I mean? Like R2D2, Yoda, Baby Yoda. Like, it gives you everything. If you're just a basic level casual, it gives you all that. So to me, I prefer Andor, but Mando is great too. So I'm not hating on that either.
Okay, so as far as the community is concerned, Mando's probably still number one.
I could see it edge out, but I think from a critical eye, like if you're looking at like critical like show making, you'd put Andor top. But like if I just want to have fun, yeah, Mando's getting number one.
Okay. It sounds like to you, this is the like Winter Soldier Infinity War argument.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because like, if you just want to throw on some stuff, Infinity War was one of the easiest watches of all time. Low key.
Oh yeah.
You could throw Infinity War anytime. Minute in that movie. Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas Winter Soldier, you're like, damn, I missed the first 30. I gotta go back. That's how Andor is. That's a good point. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. I did buy the Lego set for the U-Wing, that ship that Luthen in it. Well, I don't know if Luthen, but Andor was driving.
I see the little mech, little droid.
Yeah, man, K2SO on there. You know what I'm saying?
Legos are expensive, so I'm glad you got money.
No, I definitely used. Somebody had a membership, so I paid it on their membership. You know what I'm saying? You got to make that work.
Yeah, I got them the points that you also took advantage of it. So, hey.
Yes, sir.
Good job, Luther. I see Willing and Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do what you got to do, man. Fight the power. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. That's all we got today, folks. If you got any thoughts on Andor, let us know. And let us know if, we always have that debate about casual Star Wars fans, Jordan, people like that.
Are you the Jordans of the world, or are you the Brandons of the world?
Exactly. Let us know. And there's no disrespect either way. Let us know.
You be disrespecting Jordan a little bit.
I mean, it's Jordan. I'm gonna throw a little something in there.
That's cool.
But I think some of the smartest Star Wars fans I know usually lean more Jedi's, and that's what, for a lot of people, that's what got them in the door. I get it.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I've talked to Larry about it briefly, and Larry was like, "Yeah, lightsabers and shit. That's why I'm here."
Yeah, exactly. That. Yeah, they want the duel of two Jedi Masters with the lightsaber. That's cool to me, but if I don't know why the hell they're fighting, I'm cool off that. So I get it, though. I get it. But yeah, folks, let us know what you think. Let us know your rating for the season, and is this the greatest TV show of the year so far to you, or if it isn't, please name it, because I'm gonna fry you if you name something trash. Like you name something mid, I'm gonna go at you in the Facebook group. Yeah,
there's still a lot of year left, so
there is.
We're not even halfway.
Andor came out in like January of 2000, whatever it did, and it stayed that show. Just like Shogun that one year. I don't give a damn if it was January 1st. I'd be like, this is the best show of 2020, whatever.
He also had season 1 of The Last of Us. Nah. That was good.
Yeah, nah. Hey, do we want to talk about Last of Us? Because that's meeting.
There's still a lot of time left.
I think we should talk about that on a different episode. I think so. But yeah, it's a little toxic. That one's getting a little toxic. I remember when part 2 of the game came out, it was the same conversation going on. And I see what's going on.
Yeah, Andor is sleeping against Last of Us, but yeah, we can debate it.
And with that being said, we'll never duplicate it.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.